All right, welcome everybody to Heart of Beta episode 2. Today is October 17th and it's about 10 p.m. in Germany right now. I'm Simon aka Drool and with me today are John aka BabyKnight from Team FXO. Hi man.
Hi.
And the other guy here is Wilko, I think called Christoph if I'm correct. And he's not on a team right now but he's in the Ministry of Wind, so welcome to the show.
No, hi.
All right. Today is kind of a Protoss episode. We have 2 Protoss guests. I guess I count as a Protoss too, but I'm not very good. So, but still, and there are a lot of Protoss changes in the recent patch notes, so it coincides quite well. And we might have a little bit of one-sided discussion, but hopefully it's going to be still insightful. Just to catch up with you guys, I think BabyKnight, you're in Denmark at home right now, just practicing. How's it going for you?
It's going pretty good. I just have a lot of events in November, so just practicing it.
Yeah, I heard that on some kind of other show that the November is like full of events. I didn't even check that yet, but what's in November like?
Well, I'm gonna participate in the MLG Dallas. I'm gonna be in full play, and I'll be in the WCS finals in China, and I'll be in one other tournament, but it hasn't been announced yet, so I can't say anything.
Okay, and is there also DreamHack Bucharest in November?
I don't know when it is, but it's very soon too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, it's this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, you won WCS Denmark, right? So you're going to the World Finals.
Well, yeah, I won the Danish one, and then I got 5th at the Europe one.
Ah, yeah. Nice. Well done. And how much Heart of the Swarm do you play? Just so we kind of know, are you playing 50-50 or?
I'm playing more Wings of Liberty just because all the tournaments are Wings of Liberty, but I play Heart of the Swarm because I enjoy it. It's a fun game for me. So I play, let's see, 5 to 10 games maybe a day, something like that.
Oh, that's still quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
At least this last week I've been playing that amount.
Nice. All right, and Wilko, you're in the Ministry of Wind House. How's that treating you? I think there are a lot of people with quite the characters there, and we hear a lot from them, but not so much from you. How's it going for you?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. I'm basically just here training, and the other players are going to events, but I'm just staying here and try to improve as much as possible.
How long have you been there, and how long do you plan to stay there?
I've been there, I think, almost 4 months now.
4 months?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's a lot more than the others, right?
Yeah. I've been here since the beginning, and I plan to stay here for very long. Maybe 1 more year or something.
Wow.
If possible.
Okay, cool. Nice. And I heard you're just playing Heart of the Swarm, right? Like you're playing full time?
Yes. Like before I played Wings of Liberty, but now I switched to HOTS completely. Like I just went into the beta recently because I didn't have a key before. I got mine about 3 weeks ago, but since then I'm only playing HOTS.
And what made the decision for you to play full time?
Well, in the beginning of StarCraft 2 I was quite a decent player, so I knew I wanted to play full time eventually, so I went to work for 1 year and saved up money. And about 4 months ago I finished with my work, and then I decided to play full time, and right at that time Ministry of Wind opened. So I decided to come here, because the living expenses in Germany are, for me, would be around the same cost as here in Poland in the Ministry of Wind. So it was only logical to come here.
Alright, nice. And what made the decision for you to play Heart of the Swarm full time now? What do you promise yourself from that?
In Wings of Liberty I'm still not good enough to get the results in the near future, so I decided to switch to HOTS and then get an edge over the other players.
Okay, yeah, I think that's what most people think. Yeah, awesome. Great, great, great. All right, guys, then let's just go to the questions. We're, of course, starting with the Protoss changes. Since the last show, there were 2 patches, because the last show was 2 weeks ago, and updates 5 and 6 came out, so we're going to like cover the changes of both together, pretty much. And I want to start with the Mothership Core. I have the notes right here. The first point is the unit's Purify ability has changed. Before, the most recent Purify was that the core was attaching itself to the Nexus, to the top of the Nexus, but could still be attacked and didn't regenerate energy and so forth. And now it just grants the Nexus the ability to attack. It has a range of 13, a damage of 20, and since update 6 it also grants detection. And Purify now lasts for 60 seconds and still costs 100 energy. How do you guys rate the new Purify, BabyKnight?
I like it a lot. It's better than the old one, definitely. I just like the new Mothership Core a lot more than the old one. I think it could still be improved, but I don't know, I like it, because you invest a lot of resources into the Mothership Core, so everything else is delayed. So the fact that it has detection, I think, is pretty good, because you might not have the robo, and you can do cool things with it. I like it.
Nice. Wilko?
Yeah, it's basically the same for me too.
Okay, sure. The other changes are that that Energize actually has been removed, and the scale of this unit has been lowered, so it's a bit smaller. I think that's quite nice. Together with the higher speed, it seems to be like it comes across more agile, I think, which fits the movement speed better. The shield and health have been lowered to 130 health and 60 shield, whatever. But and this unit also costs 2 supply. I think before update 5 it was 0 supply.
Yeah.
So I think that altogether with the detection making it more potent, the supply cost is kind of justified, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a lot cooler than before. Before it didn't really fit the game all that well. It was a pretty clunky unit, and it didn't really make any sense to me. But I like it a lot more now. Yeah.
Yeah, for me too. Like, it fits the role better, I think, but like in some regards, I'm not so sure. Like in PvT, for example, you can like build a Mothership Core and go straight away into the Terran space. And like, for example, I play every game solid Mothership Core, and then I expand and attack.
What? I think we're losing Wilko a bit here. I hope he's gonna be back in a second. Wilko, can you hear us?
Alright, I think the connection was lost or something.
Yeah, just repeat your last sentence after Zealot Mothership Core.
Yeah. Yeah, and I Harris at 2 places at once, at his natural and at his main. And, well, the Terran could play a little bit more defensive and build a command center on the high ground, but still I have like a full scout, and I can see everything what he is doing, and harassing his SCVs and stuff. So maybe it's a little bit too good in PvT early game.
What if he just makes enough Marines and he has like a bunker with 1 or 2 Marines in it, and then he rallies the rest of the Marines in the base, and he just repairs the bunker? Does that hold it, or?
Yeah, but you know, like you can just go around the bunker, I think, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the map, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. I actually do Zealot Mothership against Zerg and harass with it and get some info. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, I do the same. Yeah.
The only part that I don't really like about the Mothership is the mid game. It's pretty useless. There aren't really a lot of things you can do unless you're doing like against Zerg. You can use the recall, I guess, for some pushes. But other than that, if it's a very stale game, the Mothership Core is just sitting in your base with 200 energy and you can't use it for anything. So
yeah.
Maybe it should have some other ability or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think when Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, before the Energize gave like a lot of options. You could upgrade your fortress to get prepared for the later stages of the game, or upgrade your next side for more chrono boost on the gateways to make like timing pushes, but now there's like none such ability. So you just save the 200 energy and then you're more prepared for drops and stuff, but other than that,
I think they removed it because you would usually get the mothership core, and you could get an oracle, and you could give it full energy immediately, and you could just do 2 entombs. And I think maybe they didn't like that so much. I don't know. Or maybe it was too powerful. I'm not sure. But I really liked Energize. I think they need to implement some new feature so you can use the energy in the mid game.
Yeah, it only has 2 spells now, right?
It's not enough, I don't think.
Yeah, I think I also that's what I wanted to say when we kind of talked over each other, that Energize was pretty much the dumping spell for the energy. Like whenever you had too much, you just energize a sentry and nexus. I mean, if you spend chrono well and you energize a nexus, that gives you like a full 4 chrono boosts again, and you can chrono boost, like as you said, a ton again. But that's also pretty strong. And I think the way that you use Energize to just dump stuff isn't very dynamic either.
No, that's true.
Also a bit, but I agree. There should be a 3rd spell again that gives it more usage.
Yeah.
Moving right along, we already mentioned the Oracle, and I think that was like the main synergetic unit with the Mothership Core, because you're usually timed it so you just energize when the Oracle comes out. The changes to the Oracle are as follows. Let me just see so I say the right thing first. Yeah, in the most recent update, the cost of Entomb has been lowered from 100 to 75. So you have to wait a bit until you get it, but then you cast 1. Then you can cast 1 Entombed, as opposed to 2 with Energize. And again, though, the duration of Entombed has been buffed again from 50 to 60 seconds now. What do you think about the constant Entomb buffing? Although it's a bit nerfed right now with the because you can cast only 1 in the beginning. Like, how do you see its strength at the moment? Wilko, I guess.
Like I liked it more before the patch, when I had my Mothership Core out in the open with 200 energy, and then you get like 4 or 5 entombs right away, and now you get way less, like 2 or 3. So it got a little bit nerfed, but I don't know if it was overpowered or not. Like it didn't seem to me this way when I played. Yeah.
Do you have a link to the patch notes, just so I can?
Sure. It's like 2. I can just try to copy and paste them in the chat. Maybe that's a bit
Wait.
clustered then, but.
Oh, I think I found it. Maybe.
You can just go to TL too, but it's like 2 separate patches, so it's a bit difficult. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, about the Oracle, it's definitely not as strong right now because the Energize is gone, but I actually like it more. I think it's better for the game. It was too. It was like every time you went for the Oracle, you needed to do like the same exact thing every time. Get the Mothership Core, get the Oracle, energize the Oracle. It was you couldn't really do much with it, you know. Yeah. Now there's more wiggle room. You can even like not get the Mothership Core or something like that, or there's just more things you could do, I think.
Oh, you mean also build order wise? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the build order. You can yeah, I just you're more safe now, I think. I don't know. I just like it more. Like and also they buffed the Oracle, right, with the HP. Or is that maybe that's not the last patch, but they buffed it some patch.
Yeah, it's a bit. I think in patch 4 it got a bit stronger HP wise. It also has the new ability instead of the a bit questionable phase shield. It now has an ability called Void Siphon. I'm just gonna read that out here. the Oracle channels a beam at an enemy structure that deals 3 damage and harvests 3 minerals every second until cancelled. So it's channeled. The range is 7, and the damage drain effect ticks when you cast the ability, and every sequential second following. It costs 50 energy. That's an ability that had been like thrown around since forever, I think. Some ability that can like harvest minerals from someone else. It just seems so familiar, but how do you guys value it? Like, have you ever used it? I couldn't play so much, so I didn't even use it once.
Yeah, is the mic still working?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to implement that in my game, but well, I couldn't use it that often. Like I tried to siphon some buildings, but there was always queens or stalkers attacking my void siphon, and the only times when I could actually use it for a longer time was when my opponent was building his buildings right at the cliff. But that only worked like once, and then he remembers it, and he doesn't build it at the cliff. So.
And how does it feel to use it? Like, do you feel you're actually gaining something? Like, I mean, 3 damage and 3 minerals isn't exactly very much. I mean, it's 3 DPS and 3 minerals per second, I guess. But I don't know.
I like the thought behind it. I think maybe it should be an attack from the Oracle. It shouldn't be a spell, because you basically, whenever you use the Void Siphon, you almost skip an Entomb, and I think it's always better to use the Entomb right now. So maybe if they make it an attack instead, so you'd have to just sit there and attack until the Oracle got harassed away. I think that'd be cool. I don't know.
Do you think the attack should slowly drain energy, much like a cloak?
No. It should just be a normal attack. I don't think that'd be imbalanced, because you can always just harass the Oracle away.
Yeah.
I think it just makes like if you have the multitask, it really it pays off, because you just keep harassing and then you move it away when they defend, and you just attack something else. I don't know. I would think that would be cool.
And it fits the principle of the marginal advantage that I think Day9 a while ago wrote an article about, that you just need you need that little edge, and so it's not so crass, but it's still something.
Yeah.
All right. What else to the Oracle? Revelation has actually been changed in the most recent patch. The ability will now also work on buildings, granting 3 vision around every unit it hits. The duration has been increased from 45 to 60 seconds, and the cost has been increased from 50 to 75 as well. The ability does not grant detection anymore, and the ability will not affect cloaked targets even if you have detection. So I haven't used it either, unfortunately, no time, but is it like an AoE spell that affects every unit it hits, and then you have 3 vision around all those units you just hit? Is that what it is?
Yes, that's basically what it is. Like, I think it's meant to be in conjunction with the Tempest.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah. Because then you can see the targets, and the Tempest can fire from a distance. Other than that, it might be useful to scout the positioning of the opponent's army, but...
What's the range? What's the cast range?
Same as before, I guess, because there's no change here, but I guess like...
If it's a lot lower than the Tempest, then it doesn't really make any sense. You're just going to fly the Oracle in, and it's probably going to die. So I don't know.
So just again to paint a picture here also for the viewers, if you have a cloud of Zerglings and you cast it on them, and then the other player splits the Zerglings everywhere, you have like 3 vision around every single Zergling. So they have like a plague on them that gives vision. Does it work like that?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Just checking on the range of Revelation. The range is 9. Yeah, so I don't know. I think you can just dart in, cast it, and fly out if there aren't like a ton of anti-air units around, which there probably will be. I don't know. Did you like use it to any great effect, Wilko? Because you said like you have experimented with it.
Yeah, I used it before the patch to, like for example, play against cloaked or burrowed units or get the mines out of the way. But since the patch, it doesn't reveal cloaked units, so I didn't use it that much.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't used it at all after the patch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, I like to use the Oracle in the late game because it actually takes way less APM that for the player to use than for the opponent to actually defend it. Like when I do late game entombs, it's like you click shift and then 5 clicks and then entomb 2 mirror lines, and he has to get some units or the workers to actually kill it, and then they don't actually resume mining if you don't put the mine command after you attack the mirrors. So it's a lot of actions for the opponent, and while you're doing this you have time to do some other micro in the battle.
Yeah, I think it's a cool unit.
Yeah, go ahead.
And also one cool thing is like if you play against a Terran and there's a micro battle going on and he builds up the energy on his orbitals and then he casts down like 10 mules and you happen to be with the Oracle next to it. It's like really nice feeling to entomb in that situation.
And then the mules can't even attack. That's not very nice, Wilko, but it's still very good. I have a question in regard to Entomb, so it's nice that we are here again. David Kim said recently that he is currently rethinking the Entomb a bit because the main issue with it is that it decreases action. The more powerful this ability becomes, players are just required to stay in their bases. Do you agree with that, BabyKnight?
Not really. They can just rally some units in there if they know the opponent has an Oracle. I don't agree.
No, at all? Like?
No, not really.
Okay. I mean, it's sometimes for me when I played at a like lower master or diamond level, I guess, as Zerg, for example, then every time like I got entombed on all bases, I was like, yeah, I might as well stay at home. So just macro my army and wait and like build some spores. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think is the best way to defend against entomb at the moment?
I guess it kind of depends on the state of the game. I guess like if you're gonna all in, you can just ignore it, I guess, and just go kill the Protoss because he has less less units when he makes the Oracle, or because he has the Oracle, he has less of an army. So if you're doing like some sort of timing attack to kill an expansion, you can just leave some units at home because he'll have less units as well. So yeah, you just need to know how to kind of control the situation. But I think once people figure it out, I think it's going to be fine. But it might be harder at the lower levels. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, it's harder to control the Oracle for the lower level players as well. So I think it kind of. I think it's I don't know. I think it's cool.
Yeah. No. Now that you say it, it makes sense because it actually makes you or forces you to think pretty smart. Like you said, okay, he's harassing me with that, so he has less units, so I can leave some at home as well. So I guess that makes sense. And yeah, basically when I play with it, I like it too. I mean, it's a lot of fun too, and it's very fast. I think that's pretty cool. It feels really harassy.
Yeah, I like fast units that are vulnerable, like Zerglings and stuff. They're cool units.
Yeah. All right, Wilko, any comments still to the Oracle, or should we move on?
I'm finished with. Like, I don't have any more thoughts on the Oracle.
Okay. Then the next change in the Protoss arsenal is the Tempest, which has been getting another pretty big revamp now. I'm just gonna read it out. The unit's native bonus damage to massive units has been removed, so it used to have like 30 plus 35 against massive or something, so that isn't present anymore. The unit no longer requires a fleet beacon, so you can build it right away from the Stargate. which is quite interesting. We're going to talk about that in just a second. They have a new weapon upgrade from the Fleet Beacon, which is called Quantic Reactor, which will grant the Tempest plus 35 damage to massive units now. So you have to upgrade that, and that costs 200. And the cost of the unit has been changed from 300 to 300, the same cost as a Colossus, for example. And the supply actually has been changed from 6 to 4, which I think is one of the most interesting changes. And the scale also has been lowered, so it's a bit less huge on the screen and builds less clutter on it. So it's a bit smaller. That's kind of cool too. So yeah, I guess just discuss. Wilko, you may start.
Since the patch I tried some of the infamous Tempest rushes. And it's actually pretty good. Like, I get behind the natural line, and there's not much they can actually do to defend against this. Because the Tempest, like, he can't use the full range, but still he has, I'm not sure, like 9 vision. So it still outranges Stalkers and Marines.
And Queens too, right?
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah, I noticed that. I had someone do this against me, and I was like, what is this shit? I can't do anything. So, okay, so Tempest opening, I think that's pretty cool that you can like get a really large, like the capital ships out very early. Do you think it's too strong, or is it just gotta be figured out?
I'm not sure. It might be, but I don't have, I think, enough games to actually judge about that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Tempest Rush, I haven't actually tried it, but I think when people kind of figure it out, I think it's going to be fine, because it deals such a low amount of damage that if you kind of see it coming, you just start checking towards Vikings or whatever it is that you need, and you just you might take some losses, but I think you'll be fine in the end. And honestly, it's not really a good edge to have to get a Tempest that early. I don't think it's like it doesn't really transition well into anything. So I don't know. I don't know. But I've been playing with Tempest in longer games, and I think they're a lot better than before now. They just weren't good enough before. If you maxed out with Tempests, you had such a small army because they were 6 supply, and you dealt almost no damage. Now you can make a pretty good amount of them, and you can have a good pretty big army as well.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty notable that the supply is lower.
Yeah,
I think that helps a lot.
I actually wanted them to change it from 6 to 4 like a long time ago, so I'm happy they did it now.
Awesome. How do you if you said you played a lot in the later stages, how do you maneuver in general? Like what purpose do you see in your army? What do you play against usually? How do you fare against different compositions? And just tell us a little bit about your experience. Do you use it against both other races, or all 3 other races even?
It's not that good against Bio from Terran, I don't think. I haven't actually tried it that much against Bio, but against Mech, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, if you can make a huge army of Tempests and they don't see it in time, they're just dead. They can't do anything, just like Carriers and Brood War. But even if they see it, they need to add a lot of Starports and get enough Vikings, and it reduces their Mech army by a lot. So yeah, I think you can use it against Mech and against Zerg. I think adding them on later on is a pretty good thing against Broodlords and stuff, because you basically provoke the Zerg to come attack you sooner than he wants, because you keep poking at his army from a distance. So yeah, I think those are. And in PvP, I haven't tried it that much, but maybe Colossus won't be as good anymore. So we will see less Mass Colossus versus Mass Colossus. I don't know though. I haven't tried them in PvP yet. What about you, Wilko?
I basically just use them in PvT against Mech. Like, it's good to force engagements, and if you have many bases, you can, like, if you have the Tempests, shooting at the mech army, and then the High Templars with Storm backing them up, and you can snipe the Vikings with Storm. It's pretty good. Yeah, and I think the same about PvP. It might be interesting in late game, and I actually tried to use them in late game, but my Protoss opponents, they didn't want to, so I didn't get to test it out yet.
Yeah, I haven't played any late games in PvP in Heart of the Swarm. Everybody just forgates me.
Yeah.
Either they forgate me with the mothership core, so they can they can break the ramp with they can shoot my sentries because they have vision, or they just straight up forgate like Wings of Liberty. It's pretty annoying. I mean, it's pretty easy to defend because you have the mothership core and you have the purifier thing, so you can even if you have an expansion, you can defend it. But everyone seems to do it, so I don't know. I haven't played much long PvP games.
Yeah, me too. Like before, it was actually easier before the patch, it was easier to defend and get into the later stages. But because the mothership core is a lot faster now, many people go for 4-gate blink mothership, and like it's less and less macro games. Also in PvT, I tried some mothership core 4-gate with blink, and it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, and at the moment there's still the delay, so you can't micro your blink stalkers perfectly.
Oh yeah.
If that would be, yeah.
Sorry. Just go ahead.
Yeah. If in the release of the delay gets, because at the moment they are playing on international server, I think, in the beta.
Yeah.
So there's a delay, but if the delay would be removed, then you could actually use blink stalker even more effectively, and then. Yeah. 4-gate blink with mothership core would be really good.
Yeah, that's like one of the worst things about the beta for me is the delay. It's so hard because I play a lot of American players play and they don't have delay, so sometimes it's super hard to defend certain things. Like if they go for a 4-gate blink stalker or mothership core and you're trying to defend, it's just so hard because they can micro everything perfectly and you have a delay of like 1 second or something. It's pretty annoying. Yeah.
Todd said last episode that he thinks, well, that was 2 updates ago, I guess, but he said that Blink 4-gate is probably the best build in PvP at the moment, and seems like you can kind of confirm that it's pretty, yeah, well.
Maybe, but if I didn't have delay, I think you can, if you practice enough against it, I think it's like, just like Wings of Liberty builds, you can, it's an all-in and it's defendable, so. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Right now it's just really strong against Europeans.
That's kind of funny. Yeah. Do you see any scenario given that actually can you get like just by time, can you get a single say off of one base, can you get a single Tempest out quicker now than a single Colossus, because you don't need an additional tech building and it's the same cost, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I think
so. Could you because you hinted at that earlier, both of you, can you imagine like the Tempest just replacing the Colossus and then like having it lead to Tempest Wars? Like you just say you play like 3-gate or like some kind of expand with a Stargate off of 2 gates and a Stargate. I guess you can kind of do that with Purify and such. Can you imagine going straight to Tempest from that, like Mass Tempest?
Well, the thing is, Psystorm isn't as good in PvP as the other matchups, so protecting the Tempest is harder in PvP. Stalkers are really good against Tempest. You just blink in and you snipe all of them. So I think they have their place in late game PvP. If you make them too early, you'll get overrun by blink stalkers, I think.
Yeah, I agree with BabyKnight. Like I think it's something for the later stages when you double Robo Colossus, and at some point you switch to Immortals, and I think at that point it would be good to mix in those Tempests. So you have a high enough Immortal count to actually counter the Stalkers when they blink in.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable, and I guess given the fact that you don't need a fleet beacon, transition is much more natural and easier, and I think that's good. I think that can really help the whole Protoss dynamic. Would you agree?
Yeah, transitioning to the Tempest. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, me too.
That's good. That's nice.
Oh, one sec.
Yeah. Okay, so there is actually a viewer question from Sumadin. He asks, where do Void Rays fit in the game right now with the recent Tempest change? And in addition to that, I want to add that on the forums and such, there has been a lot of discussion about Void Rays recently, and that they're kind of useless. Would you agree, Wilko, or what's your stance on that?
I don't know. I think they are still useful, but it depends on the situation. Like, if I try to use Oracle play and I scout that he's going for like a Roadroll in or something, then I actually build a Void Ray to defend. But I didn't use them offensively yet. But I think they're still viable. It's just that people want to test new units. That's why they tried the Tempest.
I started making a lot of Void Rays in Wings of Liberty now because I miss building air units and I can't make the Tempest, so must build the Void Ray, right?
So Heart of the Swarm made you build Void Rays and W.
Yeah, I used to not make Void Rays that much before, but I've been testing out some different builds against Terran and Zerg now with Void Rays. It's a lot of fun.
That's cool. Another pseudo question from the chat is like, does PDD stop the Tempest attack?
Yeah,
can
it
any
does.
one of you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, would you consider a Raven a kind of a counter to Tempest?
If they already have Ravens, yeah, I guess so, but like, it's not like you see the Tempest and you're like, holy shit, I gotta make some Ravens.
Yeah, sure.
It takes too long to get enough of them, so yeah.
And also, I don't know how it works with the Tempest, but for example, with Stalkers, if you all shoot at the same time, you can actually snipe the PDD even though if there's energy. Because if every shot is coming at the same time, it can only block one of those shots.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
because PDD has a fire rate in a sense too, right? So it can't even fire fast enough.
Oh, I thought it was only if the projectile was moving quickly enough and you were like sitting right under the PDD, it couldn't shoot the laser thing before it hit the PDD. I thought that's when you could kill it, but I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, it was with Stalkers like this, but I'm not sure how it works with Tempest. I would have to try that out.
Okay.
All right. So we can all agree on that the Tempest is kind of moving in a nice direction. I'm eager to see and play it more. I didn't have time at all this week, so that's kind of sad, but we'll definitely try it out. The last Protoss change is actually kind of a surprise, kind of interesting, and very simple too. Sentry hallucination no longer requires research. What's your thoughts on that, BabyKnight?
I think it's only good. I don't think it's bad in any way because it's not. I don't think it's imbalanced in any way. It just gives you more things you can do, but I haven't quite figured out how to implement it. You just have so many ways to scout now as Protoss, so you don't really need it in most circumstances. You have the Mothership Core, you have the Oracle if you go Stargate, you have obviously observers, and I don't know, but sure, if you're going for like Mars Gateway or something, I don't know, but I think it's only a good thing, I guess.
Wilko?
Yeah, I think the same too. It gives you a lot of options to scout. For example, like if the Terran stays one base and has his Marines on the cliff or something, you can just sneak around with an hallucination and scout like what 111 is coming or something. And also it's nice in later stages of the game if there's like a hidden base, then you can always make one hallucinated Phoenix and just scout the whole map to scout for that.
Yeah, like I think maybe in the future, Protoss will have a lot easier time dealing with different all-ins from every race actually, because of the hallucination thing. Because it just makes every build safer basically. You can just make a hallucination without wasting any resources on it. So that's pretty cool, I guess. And also, if you somehow see that your opponent isn't going to attack you anytime soon, and you have a lot of sentries, before you would just sit there and the sentries would be useless unless you're gonna attack. But now you can keep scouting just constantly, and you can even fake him out with your unit composition, like add in different units and stuff. Or maybe you can even show him a warp prism, and he'll think that you're trying to warp prism harass you or something. So, yeah, I guess as a Protoss player, it makes me happy.
The most interesting thing I deducted from what you two just said is like that I can remember a time where it was kind of en vogue to like build hallucination in your opening build. So you'd have that early scout. That was quite a while back, but
Yeah.
so it was kind of an expense and you had to work it in, but it was considered like the best way to make sure that you're safe. And right now you can it's just a snap call. Like when he's saying, oh man, I'm not really sure what he's doing and I don't necessarily have a observer around, then you just hallucinate even early in the game. And that seems very dynamic and very safe for Protoss, as you said. So that's a nice thought.
I used to have some builds with the hallucination upgrade. So I guess maybe those kinds of builds will come back again. But now you can just now you just have 100 gas and 100 minerals more than before. So
yeah, and you can just choose whenever to do it. Like because if you research hallucination and you don't hallucinate, it's like a waste. And if you forget hallucinate, then you might be mad at yourself because you could have scouted better with hallucinate, and so you can just decide now whether to use it or not. So that's cool. All right.
I like it a lot more in mid game too now. Like I can always scout what the opponent is doing, and I guess if they would remove the change and put the hallucination as an upgrade again, I would actually start upgrading it.
Okay.
Maybe it was Blizzard's plan after all to just change it to make people use it.
Yeah, maybe incentive change, but then sneak change back. All right. That's it for the Protoss changes. I guess we're gonna touch on it kind of backwards when we talk about the few Terran and Zerg changes now. We're gonna go on with Terran. The unit that Blizzard is loving right now is the Widow Mine. They kind of try to balance it out really well. They really want to have it in the game, and they're trying different things with it. And I am going to read it out. The change from update 5 is that the unit has a new missile ability called Unstable Payload. It's an autocast ability that initiates once the mine is burrowed. It cannot be turned off unless you unburrow the mine. It launches a missile at a single target within 5 range as soon as you burrow, and then it starts to reload with the next missile, which takes 40 seconds. The missile does 160 damage to the target it hits, and then another 40 splash damage in a decent radius around it. And it also auto-acquires cloaked units. Hello, Spider-Man from Brood War. And yeah, so it doesn't detect, but it can hit. It itself can see the cloaked units. And it prioritizes or auto-acquires temporary units like hallucinations, infested terrans, and locusts. And the build time has been increased to 40 seconds. So the mine itself never kills itself now. It has unlimited ammo and just rearms itself every 40 seconds. So what do you think about this version of the Widow Mine right now, Wilko?
Well, I played a lot of PvTs where the Terrans abuse the Widow Mine. It's like really annoying. Like you always have to have your observer in place, and if you move like 1 inch too much forward, then it gets sniped. So I think like on the higher levels it might be still fine if you get used to it with observers and sniping them. But I imagine like for lower league players it must be a pain, and they don't have the multitasking to keep up with the macro and still cleaning up the mines. So it would be a lot of Widow Mine spam in the lower leagues, I guess.
But then again, it takes extra actions to use the mines for the Terran. So I don't know.
Until you borrow it, then it just
Yeah,
destroys
well,
everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
like me personally, I'm actually fine with it, but I can imagine that in lower leagues it might be a problem.
Yeah, I just don't think it should hit observers. I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, sure you can stay out of vision with the observer, but I just don't think that makes any sense. I don't think it makes sense. It can hit observers. I think they should change that.
Yeah, I think so too.
But other than that, I really like it. I think it's a cool unit. I always liked the Spider Mine from Google. So
It's actually a change that I think also kind of originates from their forums, which is also kind of interesting. I also like to talk about that a bit later, how Blizzard has been interacting. But for now, last show I can remember suggesting this forum idea where the Widow Mine would kind of duplicate itself for some time, like just plant additional mines like in a line or something. So this is kind of the same idea. On the other hand, though, it's kind of it kind of creates like, no, it's not actually making free units, so it's just yeah, no, scratch that. But sorry, I'm kind of tired. But yeah, I had, because you talked about the lower levels, I played the first few games after the last patch, and it just happened to me like 2 games in a row that all of a sudden my mineral lines were dead, and I didn't even know what was happening. Then in the second game I actually realized that it was Widow Mines, and I knew I couldn't do anything against it, so I was like, yeah, so this one Widow Mine went off, and then a second went off, and then 2 more went off, and I was like, yeah, that was 4 Widow Mines, that's all that can fit in a medvac, right? But I didn't realize that they're shooting, and so they continued shooting. I was like, oh shit.
That actually happens to me too, kind of.
Yeah, it happened to me too.
The first game after the latest patch, I hadn't read it like all the way through, kind of. So I didn't actually know that. I thought they died, so I just kept losing probes. So yeah, but I don't know. I think once you're used to them, they're fine for the most part. But I actually like that they don't die, because before you could just like run a probe or a Zealot in to the Widow Mine, and it would actually be good for you as a Protoss player. It would be bad for the Terran, and I think that was kind of stupid. I think it's good that you need to clean them up with observers. I think that's how it should be.
Yeah. They all have to be gone now. My probe line is fine. Rocket. No, but I also noticed, for example, when I played against with Zerg against some Widow Mines, it's actually like now they're really dangerous, just like you said, because for example, you have them planted in some kind of ridge or way, and you know it's there, and you want to clean it up with lings, but you have to like time it so it shoots like 1 ling. You can't have a bunch of lings there, because if it shoots that, then like 15 lings die at once or something, and you can't clean it up efficiently. So it takes a lot of skill and micro and APM from the player who's playing against the Widow Mines, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I think that's a good thing overall.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And in the update number 6, the setup time actually has been increased because it seemed pretty strong. So it's 3-second burrow time now, and also the purify detection seems to be to defend against Widow Mines better.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So you can just cast it on the nexus that the mines are buried behind, and it should just clean them up automatically, quite quickly.
Yeah.
Alright. The other term change is that the Battle Hellion has been renamed to Hellbat, which has been causing quite the collective chuckle throughout the community. I don't know. Do you like the name? I think it's just funny. I don't know. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't care. They can call it whatever they want. It's always going to be a fire bat.
Yeah, I guess. Alright. Then the Zerg, there has been a change to the Viper, a unit we talked about in the last show with Demaga a lot. And we agreed on it just being bad at the time, like it didn't do much. It's now a lot faster. Acceleration has been increased, or quicker to move, has been increased from 2.125 to 3, so it gets away from its ass, I guess, a bit quicker. And the radius of blinding cloud has been increased from 1.5 to 2. And the Spore Crawler no longer requires an evolution chamber, which is also an obvious reaction to the Widow Mine's strength. What are your thoughts, guys? BabyKnight, go first.
I haven't actually... The Zergs usually don't make any Vipers against me, so I really don't know much about the Viper. I don't know. It seems like a cool unit. It definitely looks cool. I just don't really know what to say about them. But the Spore Crawler thing is like so interesting because for what 10, 12 years or whatever, how long StarCraft has been out, you always needed to make an evolution chamber to get the turret with detection for Zerg, right? But now they removed that, so it's gonna take some time getting used to. I think it's like everything is just weaker. DTs, Banshees, all cloaked units against Zerg. So I really don't know about that.
Yeah. I like to do the 4-gate pressure into DTs. I saw it on your stream. You played a lot too.
Oh yeah.
And it gets way less viable against Zerg now. And I'm thinking now what build to use, because air is actually also easier to counter.
Yeah,
For example,
I guess so.
Yeah.
But most good Zergs make an evolution chamber anyway, I think. So it doesn't change that much. It's more like one-base builds and stuff with Banshees and DTs. They're like completely useless now.
Yeah, I tried to go some one-base Stargate on Howling Peak because it's pretty hard to defend your natural Forge Expound, so I tried some Stargate into Expound.
Oh.
But then the patch came and...
messed everything up. We talked about that last show too, and I want to get your opinion on that too. It seems like overall there are a lot of mechanics that make all-ends a bit weaker. Like just what we said, like hallucination, easier Spore Crawler and that stuff. Do you like that, or do you think it's like too easy to defend against all-ends now? Do you think new all-ends will come? Just kind of discuss that.
I think as long as aggressive play is still viable, I think it's cool. I don't mind all-ins being weaker, but if the game just becomes two people just making units and making bases for like an hour, that's not where we want to be. So as long as it still pays off to be aggressive, then I think it's fine that all-ins are weaker.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright. Yeah, I think that's what we came to last time too. Alright, is there anything you'd still like to talk about? I think we talked about a lot of matchups too. I want to... Yeah, before we get to like Mr. Lania's questions, I want to hear your guys' current approach and opinion about PvZ. We talked about that also in the last show quite a bit, and yeah, it seems like it's still kind of similar to what it is in Wings of Liberty at the moment, and I just want your opinion on that. Wilko, you can start if you want.
Alright. Yeah, I think PvZ is kind of the same, but it changed a little bit because, for example, also the maps, the third bases are a lot harder to defend on the HOTS maps, so you can't take them as easily. Like in Wings of Liberty, you had the option to go a very fast third, like on Cloud Kingdom or Entombed, and you don't really have that option in HOTS anymore.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's so hard to expand to a third base in the HOTS maps. But then at the same time, I think macro games are more cool on the Heart of the Swarm maps because, like for example, Daybreak in Wings of Liberty, whenever you play macro game, the map just gets divided in half, and it's always the same basis for both players, you know. But in Heart of the Swarm, a lot of the maps, there are like multiple expansion patterns, if you know what I mean. Like, you can go different ways with how you're expanding. And I think that's a really cool thing that a lot of map makers should start implementing into Wings of Liberty maps and for Heart of the Swarm maps in the future. Like, if you think about like maps like Tal'Darim in Wings of Liberty are really cool in late game because there are so many expansions to take that every late game situation like is different for like every game, but games like Daybreak just become so boring to watch because it's always the same scenario in late game. So I think that's something that map makers can like learn from actually. Even though people usually bash on the Blizzard maps, I think they're onto something there with the late game macro. But yeah, I agree with Wilko. It's way too hard to take a third base, so they should somehow make that a little bit more accessible.
Does it? You mean for Protoss? It's hard for Protoss to take, or for both races?
Well, I don't know. I think Zerg can like take a third pretty easily on any map in any matchup. I don't think it matters too much as long as they're not like right next to their opponent. I don't think they care as much about the third base being further away because they have such quick units and stuff. The only thing that changes is the creep spread and the queens, I guess. But I don't know. I think it's mostly Protoss and maybe Terran that suffers from it.
All right. So and what about the? So what you said it's hard to take a third base, but you didn't really like conclude that with what do you think you like? Do you feel forced to all in more or two base all in, or what does it make you feel like or play like?
Well, for some reason I really enjoy playing macro in Heart of the Swarm. I think it's because of what I mentioned earlier, that it becomes more dynamic in late game with the expansion patterns. So I try to play macro games even though the third base is really hard to take, but it can be against some players that you just instant lose because they just wait for you to take the third base and they just all in you and you die. so that's kind of so they definitely need to do something about that. But I really enjoy playing macro games against Zerg. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually the same for me. Like, I still try to get my thirds relatively early, but sometimes it's just like, okay, I hope he doesn't play Max Roach.
Yeah, exactly. It's
and
like sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, you didn't go Max Roach, we can play a solid macro game, or okay, you went Max Roach and I lose.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. It's like what's the map? Shikura's Plateau in Wings of Liberty. If you try to go for a third base, you die if they try to punish you. So it's like, are you going to be a gentleman and play a macro game with me, or are you just going to kill me? You're basically begging them to play macro game, but yeah, that's kind of silly. So they definitely need to fix that.
When you guys get to when you guys get your desired macro game, how do you like to play? Like, what units do you like to use? And you said it's because of the expansion pattern. Sorry, it's cooler to play. But is that the only reason, or do you also like encounter different unit matchups and compositions? Or is it pretty much Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, sure. Like all the races use different compositions now. I mean, sometimes they use the same, but you just see a lot more variety now, so that's really cool. But yeah, it's mostly just the maps that I really enjoy, especially the what's that ice map? There are two ice maps, right? Or
Howling Peak or something?
There is the one where you can destroy the rocks and you have two bases secured for free. But then there's what's that called?
Fractured Glacier.
Okay, it's the other one. It's the one where your natural is kind of exposed, and the two watchtowers are very awkwardly placed.
Is it the one? Yeah, the one where the third base has collapsible rocks to the side and destructible to the middle.
Yes, exactly. That map. I think that map has like the coolest expansion dynamic in late game.
Yeah.
I love that map in late game.
True.
But yeah, it is really hard to take a third base. So that's like the only problem. And I guess there are some things that Blizzard map makers aren't that good at, like the Selnaga watchtowers. I think those are placed like pretty terribly on that map. I don't think they make a lot of sense to.
Yeah, they're kind of random.
Yeah, they don't really cover anything. They cover like the bases like at the bottom and the top. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to visualize the map. It's what I noticed when I played, and confirm that or deny. But I felt like on that map you have to really, especially because of the senseless towers, you have to take care of your vision really well, because there are a lot of pathways that your opponent can come. For example, to your fourth base to the side. Like there are like 2 paths to there, and then if you have the one in the middle, they can attack from everywhere there. So you have to like spread your overlords or just have pylons and orbs around if you want to defend well on that map.
Yeah, that's true, but like if you're playing against the Zerg as Protoss, you can't really do that because they have speedlings, so it's hard to have something out on the map and just scout for everything.
So I'm still trying to like get out of you guys like a typical Heart of the Swarm, for example, PvZ late game, like what units, like a timeline or something like that. Just give me a little PvZ story or something, like what units are being used in what stages, assuming that it's not the straight up Colossus, Stalker, Mothership versus Infestor, Broodlord.
Yeah, well, actually the Zergs try out a lot of different compositions. Like, I played against Mass Hydra, Mass Swarm Host and everything, but like the most disgusting thing was Broodlord, Infestor, Swarm Host and Spinecrawlers.
Yeah.
And then 1 or 2 Vipers to pull your Mothership out.
Oh god.
And this was so painful to play against.
Did you win?
No, I lost horribly. And like the next 5 PvZs I went 2 base Immortal or Lyn to recover.
Well, I think Demaga plays those kinds of styles a lot in Heart of the Swarm. He basically makes the same units as Brood War late game, but then he mixes in Swarm Hosts, and I don't think I saw him make Vipers, but...
No, he doesn't make them.
But basically because the Swarm Hosts, the Locusts are free, he just keeps harassing you over and over, and he moves closer and closer with the Spines, because while you're killing the Locusts, they actually have a lot of hit points, so it takes a while to kill them. Then, meanwhile, he's pushing his creep forward and he's pushing his Spines forward. So eventually he'll get to your base, and his army is like as strong as yours, and then he also has the Spines and the creep. So it's really hard to deal with. I actually don't know what to do against that. But I've been making a lot more High Templars in Heart of the Swarm, because I feel like you need to exchange something other than units against the Locusts. So I think you need to Psystorm them every time they come in. Unless you have like 6 Colossus, but you usually don't make that many.
Yeah. The funny thing is that last show Demaga has been, like, he actually really doesn't like the way that StarCraft 2 or Heart of the Swarm, like both parts, work in that regard, and that there are too many free units. For example, by Zerg mainly. That's kind of a design flaw. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, completely agree.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think Blizzard is onto something with the Swarm Host. I think the fact that they can like siege a base and they're really vulnerable, like a siege tank, if you get on top of them and stuff. I think that's cool, but I really dislike the fact that whatever you kill Locusts, even if you just kill 1 Zealot, it's still good for the Zerg, and you can't really neglect the Locusts killing anything. So yeah, I don't know. Plus they can control the Locusts, so the good Zergs they'll always take all the Locusts when they spawn them, and they'll focus like a building down or something like that. And they can usually always kill a Pylon or a Cannon or a Zealot or something like that. And it's just really annoying.
Yeah, it's always cost efficient for the Zerg. They don't lose anything with them. Yeah. Do you want to add anything, Wilko? Because otherwise I would carry on.
No, I'm finished.
All right. Because yesterday, or like in our time, I guess it was very early this morning, there was a kind of a giant shitstorm on Reddit and Twitter.
To say it mildly.
Yeah, yeah, I guess it was pretty massive, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I wake up and I always check Facebook and Twitter to kind of wake up. And I was like, save HOTS. What is this shit? Like, it's too early in the morning for this. But yeah, just to explain to the viewers, today in the morning, Destiny posted a thread on Reddit where he kind of gave a very heartbreakingly pessimistic outlook on the future of StarCraft and compared to the other available esports and such. I want to make this kind of our closing topic. We have like 50 minutes left. See what you think about that. Yeah, he pretty much said that Blizzard is completely messing it up. We're probably going to link this thread in the description on YouTube so you can look it up if you want to. And yeah, he pretty much just said all the things wrong with the way Blizzard is marketing the game esports-wise and how it's not casual-friendly enough, so there's not as big of an audience as, for example, League of Legends has. And then kind of Cats jumped onto the train and said, okay, we need to save Heart of the Swarm, and it became a Twitter hashtag, and everyone posted Save Heart of the Swarm thing, and big figures in the community and no-names alike joined the alliance and posted more or less reasonable suggestions for Heart of the Swarm. Yeah, some things were kind of decent, I guess. Some things were definitely stupid. And yeah, enough of me talking. I guess you both kind of experienced what was going on. Wilko, I mean, you're in the house where it originated from. What do you think about that, and what is your opinion on the whole topic? Are you still there, Wilko?
I guess I'll just start.
Yeah, just chime in then.
Okay. Well, I actually was when I saw that, I was like kind of freaked out because I got really sad when I logged onto Reddit because there were so many threads like, oh god,
Yeah.
SC2 is dying, Slayer is disbanded, like.
Yeah, right. That too.
It was like so depressing to me, and I just wanted to make a counter Reddit thing and just say how much I like StarCraft because it was like so sad for me to read. There's actually a thread right now. Let me see if I can find it. Some guy said something positive, so I'm gonna link it in chat if I can find it. Because we need to get some positive threads on Reddit. It's up on Reddit now because, God, that was so depressing.
The second one, sorry, on Reddit. The second thread on Reddit right now is, I cannot explain how empty I felt inside when I looked up Reddit today.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you felt then.
Yeah, and then it's like I actually really disagree with what he did. I don't think it helped in any way. I think most of the things he was talking about, I think people are aware of it anyway. And I think, honestly, I think Blizzard is doing a fine job. I think, sure, they can do it better, but I think they're doing a good job overall, and I think we should just give them time. And I think when Heart of the Swarm comes out, we'll get an influx of viewers and players in the community again. And I think it's gonna work out in the end. So I just think he's kind of a drama queen, and I think it would be best to ignore him a little bit because I don't think it's helping our community in any way. The post he made, I think it actually like scares people away more than anything. And the tweets that were made on Twitter, obviously, were pretty. They weren't really helping in any way because there were so many different approaches and things people wanted to have changed. So I just don't agree with his decision to write that at all.
Yeah. Welcome back.
I'm actually sitting next to Destiny and like
Blame him.
Yeah, we actually asked him like, do you really want to do that and stuff? But like we have Destiny and Destro in the house, and those two are like the two biggest drama queens,
Yeah, I know.
and they worked on the thread together, so
Oh god.
Yeah.
it was like unavoidable for that to happen. Yeah, and I was really sad too. Like when I started streaming and my viewers were like, "Is SC2 dying?
Yeah.
What will you do in HOTS and stuff?"
Yeah. It's pretty
But-
depressing.
Yeah.
I,
But I
I mean,
think-
I'm not. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it will die or something. Like when HOTS will come out, it will increase. Maybe
Yeah.
it will be not as much hype as it was in Wings of Liberty, but I still think the viewer counts will grow. And I think a little bit, like he has also some right points. Like Blizzard has to step it up and make it more user friendly. Like
yeah,
if you,
for sure.
if you look at Battle.net, like the arcade or in general the chat system and stuff, it really needs to change in Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, but I think it's been talked about before, though, right? I think it's
Yes.
been talked on, like, In Control and on State of the Game. I know he's been talking about it, those kinds of things a lot. So, and I mean other people too. So I just don't think it was necessary to like make this kind of drama. I don't think Blizzard really cares. They can just choose to ignore it if they want. It's their game. They can do whatever the fuck they want, right? So I mean, like, I don't know.
You know, one point I mentioned earlier too is that I wanted to get to. I almost forgot that, but Blizzard at the moment is very open to the community. Like,
Yeah.
over like much more so, like multiple hundred percentages more than before, or like 2 or 1 year ago, 2 years or 1 year ago. They listen to a lot. We see Dustin Browder posting a lot. We see David Kim making very excessive statements about the patch notes. Wouldn't you agree that if you want to like reach Blizzard, it's kind of a good time at the moment because they really seem to be listening, and the community suggestions definitely have made a difference in the last, couple of changes that have been made by Blizzard. So don't you think it's kind of a good time to propose changes, even if it's maybe not the best way?
Well, yeah, it's a good time to approach them, but I don't think this is the right way. No, I don't think it's going to help. I mean, if it helps, that's great. I would love for them to change some of the things that needs to be changed, but I just I don't know how to actually do it, but I'm not sure this is the right way.
Okay, yeah, I would have asked you now, like, how would you do it then? I mean, of course.
I mean, I'm thinking like maybe you'd have to like talk to Dustin Browder like at a LAN or something, and like really just ask him why they're not changing these things, because I would love to know why they're not fixing some of the issues. Like for instance, the chat system and everything it was so much better in Brood War. I don't know why they even changed it in the first place, but they should realize now that it needs to be changed back, or at least changed in some way. I don't know. I would love to hear Dustin Browder talk about it, but I don't know if this is the right way to get him to talk, because I think he's the guy we need to talk to.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I'm also thinking about it, and I guess I agree with you in saying it's definitely not the right way this way. I mean, Destiny isn't. I mean, I really like about Destiny that he's so outspoken. I mean, he just it can be a curse, but it's also it has its good sides. So he isn't afraid to really speak his mind, and I definitely agree with him on a lot of points, but it's not a very appropriate way, I guess. It's kind of angry, and you see what it did to I guess the whole community, you could even say, is that all of a sudden there is a lot of just negative energy It's
Exactly.
almost scary. It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that before.
That's why I don't like this approach, because I mean, like, if you disregard that, obviously it's good to try to get their attention, but I just think this spread way too much negative energy, like you said, in the community.
And that's never good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, some of the things though I never saw that clearly before. For example, like that you actually need to make the game very accessible to newbies. That's actually very right. I mean, you should be able to just hang out in StarCraft and have fun.
Yeah.
And you can't do that at the moment in like League of Legends because I don't know, you always search for a game, you talk to a lot of people.
Yeah, I loved. I used to play Warcraft 3 a lot, just custom games and chill with my friends in BabyKnight channels and stuff a long time ago, and that was really cool. And you can't really do that in StarCraft, so yeah, things like that.
Do you you were a Dota professional? Would you ever consider going to Dota 2? I guess you get asked that a lot, but
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah, that was kind of a different topic, but yeah, well, no, I get that. I get asked that a lot, but no, I love StarCraft way too much, and there are reasons that I switched. So.
Okay,
So no.
that's great to hear too. All right, Wilko, any last comments? You can report to us if you like hit Destiny or something a little bit.
Well, not yet, but I think I have to invent something for him.
How is it? You said you really like the house and living in it, I guess. Can you, I don't want to talk too much drama right now, but just like, aren't you like, concerned about the Ministry of Wind related topics at all? And do you not mind like living with drama queens, like you call them yourselves?
Yeah, well, they are drama queens, but it's still a lot of fun to live with them.
That's
Like, especially when Destiny and Desra are trolling each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's always so funny.
You mean
And-
Destiny's trolling Desro, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Like, Desra sometimes attempts to troll Destiny, but it actually never works out. But it's also fun, yeah. And in general, it's a very good atmosphere, and almost everyone is training hard.
That's good.
Yeah, and there was some drama, but it's actually way too exaggerated in the forums and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't even want to open that up right
Okay.
now. Yeah, but it's great to hear some really positive things about the house. I mean, all StarCraft stuff aside, if I could live in a house like that, man, I'm a real nerd when it comes to like living spaces. I really love watching at beautiful apartments and stuff. And this house, man, it's so gorgeous. It's amazing. Like it must be very, just like comfortable. Like you must feel great going to your room, going into the bathroom because it's like it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's like gamer's paradise here.
Yeah.
I love it. And
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to Germany anymore.
Germany is nice too. We have bread.
Yeah.
You have bread?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Zadek from Team Liquid always writes blogs about Germany, what's good and what's bad here. And in the most recent blog, he wrote about bread, and that's true. Like Germany has like the best bread culture, I think, and that totally made me go to the bakery and buy a real loaf of bread. That was cool. Yeah, but I guess we can wrap this up. I want to thank both of you for coming on. I really enjoyed this episode. Some nice talk about all the things. I hope to have both or either of you back on the show sometimes in the future. To all the viewers, thanks for tuning in for sure. We'll be back in 2 weeks if everything works out, and we'll announce the next show earlier. For now, guys, you can give us where we can find you and follow you your streams, your Twitters. Wilko, you can start.
Right, so my Facebook is Wilko SC2. My Twitter is also Wilko SC2. And my Twitch is Ministry of Win _Wilko. And I'm streaming every day from morning to night, so you can tune in whenever you want.
Awesome. BabyKnight?
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at FXOBabyKnight. And you can follow me on Twitch at, I'll just link it in the chat because I think I need to change my name. It's kind of hard to, yeah. D_13BabyKnight. It's like very old, very old. So, yeah.
Yeah, if you we'll put it into the YouTube description too. So.
Okay. And yeah, I want to thank you for bringing me on the show. It was fun. And I want to thank my sponsors as well, FXO and our sponsor Razer and my team FXO.
Yeah, and also you want to thank your awesome manager because he's awesome.
He's pretty damn awesome.
I love the guy so much.
FXO Feyron. Yeah, everybody loves him, man.
Yeah, he's supposed to be loved. Follow at FXO Feyron on Twitter. He's like the bestest guy. I love the guy so much.
After you follow at Liquid Red and FXO BabyKnight, you can go follow him too.
Yeah, and you can also follow at DroolSC. That would be me. And that shall be it. I'm extremely tired. I'm totally gonna go sleep. Nope, I still have to work. Oh, that's sad. But you guys go back to practice or whatever. Eat, sleep, have a nice night, and thanks again for coming on. See you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. See ya.
Peace.